I am sitting down today with my good friend and an amazing woman, Alora, to talk about her journey through her life since being diagnosed with cancer and the kindness that has touched her through all the people around her. Tell us about your life before you were diagnosed with cancer and then what happened when you were diagnosed with it.
Before I was diagnosed with cancer, it was the typical thing. Go to school, drama with your friends, get in trouble with your parents.
Starting grade 12, beginning, so it started this summer of 2007.
So I had to come out of school. I went when I could. My friends were a lot of different reactions from my friends. Teachers, everybody would treat me a little bit different. It was interesting, to say the least.
How did friends and family react when you were diagnosed and you started telling people?
Family was very concerned.
It's very serious, she has cancer. I don't think anybody really believed it until I had to go admit myself into the hospital.
My friends was a different story. Some of them literally thought they could catch cancer from me, that I was contagious, so I had some people running away from me in the hallways. I was known as, did you hear about that girl that has cancer? But a lot of my friends didn't want to believe it. Some of them broke down crying in the hallway, and I literally had to catch them. And I wasn't crying myself because I was in shock. I was laughing. So people thought I was lying to them. That's just how I dealt with it.
So during your first chemo treatments, you were at the Stoller, right?
Yes.
How did the staff and the hospital make you feel being a first-time cancer patient?
Couldn't see it because I was in so much shock and I didn't want to be there. So, but later that I think about it, they were very understanding staff, very helpful.
The nurses were very considerate. They would do everything to make you comfortable. They'd ask you every so often, what would you like, or can we get you anything? And the doctors were really nice. They weren't just looking at you like a patient. They treated you like a person. So that was really nice.
Was it different the second time you were diagnosed?
The second time was a whole other gong show and a half. It was disappointing. As soon as the doctor came in, my doctor, Dr. Stobart, a nurse or a social worker also came in as well. So when more than one person enters the room, you know it's not good news. Turns out that the tumor in my leg was completely gone, so my leg is healed. But it turned out that it had spread to my lungs. I would almost say that, they didn't care as much the second time around.
Do you ever wish that people treated you differently?
In some ways. I would get really angry when somebody, just because the word cancer, they get really scared and touchy. Someone would run away, and you're just like, come on, you guys need to be smarter than that.
Everybody thought I was going to break somehow, so that would have been something I would have liked to have a little bit differently. It wasn't so much as the, oh, I'm going to break kind of thing. They thought I was tough as steel the second time round.
What does kindness mean to you?
It would mean, an understanding and gentleness. There are a lot of kind people out there, and a lot of ways to show that you're kind or that you have kindness. But I believe a lot of it would have to do with understanding. For kindness to actually come out and to be appreciated.
What was your biggest experience of kindness?
Possibly going to a hair salon. They asked me what I wanted to do today, if I was just getting color or dye. I'm just like, I'm shaving my head. And, they would take a triple take and ask me 3 times, I'm sorry, what? They would start doing it. It would take about 10 minutes for them to actually go to my head until I actually had to sit down and tell them, okay, I'm sick, I'm gonna lose my hair, I need to take it off now. I asked them how much it was charged or whatnot, and they'd be like, hey, don't worry about it, and I'm just like, no, really, how much? I'm just like, I know it's not that bad, but like, how much do I owe you? And they'd just be like, don't worry about it, and I'm just like, okay, thank you very much. And then, you know, whenever I go in, they would remember me, and they would ask me how I was doing, and just because they remember me, it shows me that, you know, I had some kind of impact, and they would always, like, be very kind to me.
So who has touched your soul the most with their kindness?
Definitely my parents, definitely, because no matter how bad I got or whatever the situation, they were always there for me. I'm gonna hate you if I cry again. A few of my friends, definitely Bree. Definitely Bree. Probably you'd be on top of that list with friends. Definitely. There would also be my boyfriend Ben. Even though he wasn't there the first time around, but he's been there. A lot the second half. And my friend Cassie. Didn't think she'd actually get like a tattoo and put my initials in it. I didn't think you'd ever shave your head. Or like even visit me when like a lot of people wouldn't, or just check up on me. And a lot of my other friends, Stacy, even though I don't talk to her as much now, she lives in Calgary. The first time round, she was there every day, and I mean every day. She would call me if she was at school, she'd get my homework, and she'd actually take the time to bus the hour it took and visit me, and my parents would give her a ride home. And on weekends or any spare day she had, when she got her car, she'd come to visit. And whenever she comes to Edmonton, we always make plans. Definitely my friends Sibin and Leah. They made a scrapbook of everything, which was really cool. I didn't think they'd ever do that, but that was quite cool. But they were the ones. Yeah, I would have to say Bree, Ben, Cassie, Sibin, Leah, and Stacy were there for me the most. And I'm just like crying crazy right now.
I told you we would cry. Have you done anything to share the kindness that you've received?
And a lot of my friends have been through so much. Most of the time I would just try to tell them what I learned. I can't do too much, so, you know, I would try to make plans with them, or write them a letter, or write them a card, or stuff like that. I think I could probably do a lot more when I'm feeling better, but no, I think that anybody would try to do their best in order to spread the kindness. I love you. I love you too.